Hello, my most amazing artist. Today we're going to talk about cleanup because I have noticed lately that cleanup has been a little bit scary. So we're going to work on it. And I've invited some awesome friends of mine, some famous artists and famous faces that you will recognize to talk to us about the do's and the do-nots, not the donuts, of cleanup. So let's get started, shall we? This is the cleanup gong. No matter what you're working on, when you hear the cleanup gong, you need to stop and clean up. That's kind of how it got its name.
But I am just putting the finishing touches on my masterpiece.
Like, whatever, Da Vinci. You've been working on me for years. Look at me. I'm perf.
Never ever ask if you can play the cleanup gong. Just show me that you want to play the cleanup gong by doing what you're supposed to do. If you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do, there's a good chance I'm going to notice it and I'll be picking you to play the cleanup gong.
I, Cleopatra, Queen of Egypt, demand that you allow me to play the cleanup gong. I, King Tut, demand that I play the gong.
You know what, Viking? You have been working so hard and quietly. I think I would like you to play the cleanup gong. Would you like to play the cleanup gong? So if you get chosen to play the cleanup gong, here's what you do. This guy, it's called a mallet. You're going to hold the cleanup gong mallet just like this. When you hit the cleanup gong, you can play it two different ways. You can do it by taking the cushion part of the mallet, never the wooden part, and by tapping it right in the middle. You don't need to hit it hard for it to make a loud sound. Let me show you. I barely tapped it. Here's another way. This way is my favorite. You're going to start by gently tapping the gold circle, very lightly, hitting it a little harder and harder as you go around. Watch. So, when you're done playing the cleanup gong, you just take the mallet with the wooden handle, slide it right there, and then you can go clean up.
Don't you know? You can clean up this way. Right, monkey?
I, Cleopatra, Queen of Egypt, do not clean up. I command you to do it. Okay. How about we do it together?
Hey guys, box of crayons here. And I just wanted to remind you to please make sure to take care of all of your art supplies because everybody in the whole school has to use the art supplies that are found in the art room. So if you don't take good care of them and you do things like break a red colored pencil and shove it through somebody's head, which isn't very nice, then nobody's going to have a nice red sharp colored pencil to use. So please make sure you take care of all art supplies in the art room. Not only so you have great art supplies, but so that everybody in the whole school has awesome art supplies to use. This really hurts.
And don't just stand like a statue behind your pushed-in chair. If you haven't cleaned your table yet, make sure that you and your table mates have cleaned the entire table. That might mean that you have to help a friend clean their area too to make sure everybody gets cleaned up on time. We never ever need to yell at our friends or tell them to, hey, clean up after yourself. Be a good buddy and help an artist out. Then, when everybody is standing like a statue behind their pushed-in chair, they will get called to line up first. So if you want your table to line up first, and you know you do, make sure to clean that table and have all of your buddies standing like a statue behind your pushed-in chair. When you and your table mates have cleaned up your table, you are to stand like a statue behind your pushed-in chair.
Oh, okay. So, but the other day, Mario and Luigi, they were painting me. And do you know Mario and Luigi? Do you
Hey, it's me. It's a Da Vinci. It's not a Super Mario.
Remember, you're supposed to stand like a statue behind your pushed-in chair.
I know all about being a statue because, well, frankly, I am one. Another masterpiece finished by Grant Wood. This one is going on the drain rack, folks.
Hi, boys and girls. It is I, Vincent van Gogh, painter of This Starry Night. Don't ask me what happened to my ear. It's a very sensitive subject. We're here to talk about putting your painting on the drying rack. When you do, make sure you start at the bottom of the drying rack. Don't put your painting on top. Start at the bottom. It's that easy. Also, never ever stack your painting on top of somebody else's painting because then they will stick together. And it could cause your masterpiece to become ripped or torn. And nobody would want your masterpiece to become ruined. Like my ear.
Remember, when we line up, we always line up in alphabetical or ABC order, always and forever.
As Cleopatra, Queen of Egypt, I demand that I stand in front. I'm King Tut, though. I should go in front because I'm the king. Your name starts with a T. Mine starts with a C. A, B, C. Cleopatra. Cleo, C.
My name's Bob.
Okay.
All right, boys and girls, let's very quickly go over the cleanup routine as well as that cast of characters. Remember, boys and girls, when you hear that cleanup gong, no matter what you are working, even if you're like Leonardo da Vinci working on your Mona Lisa, you must stop and clean up. Speaking of Mona Lisa, she was painted by the artist Leonardo da Vinci, and she is one of the most famous paintings ever created. It took Leonardo nearly 12 years to create this painting of Mona, who was the wife of a very wealthy patron who paid Leonardo to paint her. Why is she so famous? She's famous because of the beautiful background that's very realistic. Look at her face. She's also realistic, as well as that mysterious smile that people often talk about. Let's chat a moment about the artist Leonardo da Vinci. He was what is called a Renaissance man, which means he was good at just about everything. Not only was he an artist, but he was a scientist, a mathematician. He was very skilled at literature as well as an inventor. Not only was he a Renaissance man, but he lived during a time that's called the Renaissance. It's called the Renaissance because all things such as math, science, and literature were coming back into style during that time. He lived to be 67 years old. He also has a Ninja Turtle named after him. Hey, what's up, Leonardo?
What's up, Miss Stevens?
Next up, we know that if you are working hard, you might get to play the cleanup gong. So don't ask. Make sure you do the right thing. Let's talk about that cast of characters. First up, we had Cleopatra. Cleopatra was the very last pharaoh or queen of Egypt. After her reign, Egypt became a part of the Roman Empire, ending thousands of years of what we call ancient Egypt. Cleo also thought of herself not only as a queen, but also as a goddess. Things did not end very well for Cleopatra as she died from a self-inflicted snake bite. Ouch. And then there was, before Cleopatra, King Tut, the boy king, who became king at the ripe age of 9. He didn't live very long either, though, as he wasn't a very healthy dude. His tomb was discovered by a guy named Howard Carter, and inside his tomb were 5,000 items of riches that he had planned to have in his afterlife. Miss Cassie played the part of a Viking. Vikings sometimes are thought of as being very fierce and vicious individuals, but actually they were seafaring explorers. They loved to explore by sea and river for trade, but they also loved to have their time during raids and conquests of land. Of course, when it's time to clean up, We know that it's important to work together during cleanup time. Miss Starkweather was playing the part of the artist Frida Kahlo, who's actually from Mexico and was most famous for her self-portraits. She's a celebrated Mexican artist and loved to make pictures of not only herself, but things that showcased Mexican traditions. She said once, "I paint myself because I am so often alone and because I am the subject that I know best." Because of some sad health problems that she had during her life, she was often left alone, and that is why she painted so many self-portraits. Please take care of all art supplies. Let's talk about cleanup. When you're finished cleaning up, you need to stand like a statue behind your pushed-in chair. Speaking of statues, the Statue of Liberty can be found in New York City in the New York Harbor. She is actually a gift to the United States from the country of France. She is holding a torch, and the torch is a symbol of enlightenment. She's carrying a tablet, and on the tablet it says July 4th, 1776. That is the date and year that the United States of America gained its independence from Great Britain. She was designed by the artist Bartholdi, and she was sculpted by the artist Gustave Eiffel. You might recognize that name. He's also famous for creating the Eiffel Tower. Please make sure if you have painted that paintings go on the drying rack. Let's talk about that painting that Grant Wood placed on the drying rack. It is titled The American Gothic. Grant Wood, who you see there looking very serious on the right, loved to paint images that he believed were all things America, which is why this painting is considered an Americana kind of painting. That's actually not a farmer and his wife or daughter. It's actually Grant Wood's dentist and Grant Wood's sister, who posed as a farmer and the farmer's daughter for American Gothic. And when you place your paintings on the drying rack, please make sure that you always start at the bottom of the drying rack, as Vincent van Gogh, the artist who created The Starry Night, talked to you about. You might be wondering about why he had that bandage on his ear. Vincent van Gogh oftentimes was very mentally unstable, meaning he wasn't able to make correct choices, and he actually did that to himself and to his poor ear. People think that he cut off his entire ear. That is not so. He injured the ear lobe, or the bottom part of his ear. Usually Vincent van Gogh loved to paint inside self-portraits and oftentimes painted outside landscapes as well. And as you know, as demonstrated by Miss Kukowski as the Viking, Miss Crite as Cleopatra, and Miss Starkweather as King Tut, we always line up in ABC order, always and forever. And there you have it, guys. That is how we clean up in the art room.
I know all about being a statue because, well, frankly, I am one.
Please put your paintings on the drying rack. Take 9.
Another masterpiece by Grant Wood finished. I forgot my...
All you have to do is put it on the drying rack.
Lining up. Take 1. Remember, as always, we line up in alphabetical or ABC order, always and forever. Put your painting on the drying rack. Take 4.
Give the dog a bone. I'm Dalton Abbey.